Weghorst out of the Manchester Derby. Dalot out of the Manchester Derby too. Ten Hag has gone ahead to conduct a press conference at Carrington ahead of the Manchester Derby that is going to be happening tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Welcome to this channel. United Matters channel is the YouTube channel. Rokan David is my name. And guys, congratulations to everyone that has been part of our journey that saw us hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel. And that happened, I think, yesterday night. So thank you very much. And you guys are really great, and continue subscribing because we want to hit another milestone of 20,000 subscribers and even a journey of 1,000. A journey of 1,000 kilometers begins with one step, meaning that we are now into the journey of 20k. So thank you guys for watching into this. It's been really nice having you, and you guys are the reason as to why I'm what I am, and this channel is what it is because of you. Now, the presser had really some good positives and some negatives because we are so much expectant that Weghorst was going to be registered as a Manchester's player today, and obviously Ten Hag has gone ahead to really let us know about the situation of Weghorst. He has gone ahead to confirm that the deal is closed, so he will not be available for tomorrow. So Weghorst was one of those people or players that everyone was really talking about, and this is when I get to know that the media was just trying to hype up the derby, that United is signing in a player to come and really help them out to really win this game of football between them and Manchester City. So I believe it was really a media stunt that was really put out there, and it has always gone ahead to be part of the news, to the leading stories of the story. So I believe for Weghorst, I think it's better for him not to come out in a game of such a magnitude because it might affect him totally. But I believe we might see him unveiled on the pitch before the game starts, as United did when we were really going to play against, was it Newcastle? I think we're going to play against Leeds. Yeah, we're going to play against Leeds, and Rafael Varane walked out of the tunnel holding the t-shirt or the shirt or jersey of Manchester United, and we are all mesmerized to see him because he was a player that we had waited for very many years, since 2010 when he snubbed us for Real Madrid. So I believe that might come in through, and Weghorst might come out through tomorrow holding that shirt of United as being unveiled to the fans, because I believe everything is done. Paperwork has been signed. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed us that everything has been signed, so that means United can unveil the player. So it might be that they want to unveil the player on the match day tomorrow of the Manchester Derby. All else, they'll unveil him on Monday, if at all everything goes on well. But he's not available for tomorrow. Ten Hag has gone ahead and confirmed onto that matter. Now, after that, he was asked about Diego Dalot. Sorry, he was asked about... Sorry about this. So he was asked about Diego Dalot, and obviously he had lots of things to say, and he said, I think Diego Dalot is not available, and Anton Martial trained this morning, so we have to wait to see how he trains. It will be decided tomorrow morning. So when Ten Hag talks about Diego Dalot, I really feel a little bit nervous. You know, when you're going to face one of the best teams in the world, you need to get every weapon outside your arsenal and front it to them. Trust me, this season, Diego Dalot is among the top 5 right backs in the Premier League, and you wouldn't like to lose him out because he offers a lot going forward, and secondly, his resiliency in the defensive part is really out of this world. So he balances the two very well in the offensive and the defensive. Now, that means you're left with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a player who's going to come in through and really act well in the defensive, but obviously the offensive, he won't add a lot to the team, though he's trying to improve, but not as Dalot, because Dalot's being on the pitch also helps Anthony to be a much more better player as he really approaches the final third. So, it's really hurting that Diego Dalot is out. And if at all you never knew, he really walked off the field of play at Old Trafford on, was it Monday? I think it was Tuesday, when he went to his foot and he he was taken off the field of play with a little bit of pain. And when Ten Hag was asked after the game, he said it was really precautionary, but we now know that it was really a very huge injury. But for Anton Martial, he's telling us that he trained this morning, so we have to wait and see how he trains. It will be decided tomorrow, meaning that the evening training session will decide on whether Martial is going to go all out and really play tomorrow or not. But I believe this is a mind game that United is trying to build up, because the manager told us the reason as to why Varane and Martial never featured in the game of Charlton was he just rested them. And Martial was not injured. And Martial was seen after the game signing autographs for United fans outside the pitch of Old Trafford. So that confirms to you that Ten Hag is playing mind games on Pep Guardiola to not be specific and exact to prepare for the centre forward of United that is going to lead the line. Because if Martial is out, you expect Rashford to lead the line and Alejandro Garnacho to play wide. But I believe Martial is going to be available for tomorrow's game, because for the very first time ever since he returned, he has been rested for some good days, and I think he has reconditioned and his batteries have been recharged very well for the City derby. Remember, when he returned from injury, he played on Wednesday, I think, against Aston Villa. On Saturday, he played against Fulham. Then after that, we returned after the World Cup. He played against Burnley. In the midweek, that was Wednesday. After that, he had to play against Nottingham Forest. That was a Saturday. In the midweek, went ahead to play a game against Burnley. Then on the weekend, he played Wolverhampton Wanderers. After that, we came in through in the midweek. To play against, was it Everton? On the weekend to play against Everton. Then in the midweek, this week, we've played a team called Charlton, and he was really rested. So it looks like he's progressing on well, and I think his recovery from injury and return is being maintained well by the manager known as Erik Ten Hag. So I believe that is really a mind game that Ten Hag is trying to play against a manager known as Pep Guardiola. Now, Ten Hag continued to let us know that on the striker shortage at Manchester United, that Weghorst wasn't even available in the last weeks. It would be a bonus if he was. We have won a lot of games without Anton Martial too. So he was hinting about Martial's not being available for the City game, meaning that there might be a little bit of a glitch, but I believe this guy is really available. That's it. The guy is available. He's available, and I think he's going to play. And I'll be disappointed if at all he doesn't play into that game, because we'll miss a lot from Marcus Rashford, because Rashford offers a lot when he's playing as a left attacking midfielder and Martial leading the line. Because when Martial is leading the line, the wide forwards Anthony, Rashford and Bruno Fernandes find themselves in proper positions of really getting involved in the game a lot, because Martial plays well with his back to goal, and him not being greedy, dipping deep and pressing at the front foot obviously helps them really benefit a lot from Martial. But I believe even when without him, I think we can do magic. Magic can be done in that Manchester United place or football team against City. So that's what Ten Hag told us about the striker shortage at Manchester United. But he gave us a hint that he's really so much worrying about Martial, but I believe it's really something that we have to go ahead and really believe and wait and see whether he's going to make it to the team. That's it. Now we are having Ten Hag. He said Man City 6-3 win was a lesson. We took the lesson, and from that point on, we have made huge progress. Obviously, it was a very huge lesson, because the likes of Sancho, Malacia, it marked their end of the starting 11 for United, because they went back to the bench, having not really performed very well for the manager and Scott McTominay. That's when Casemiro came in through, who played very well, and he played against, was it Omonia? Obviously, the game of Everton, he made his start of the Premier League for United for the very first time, and ever since then, he has never looked back to being on the bench, meaning that that game really made a lot of changes at Manchester United, and I believe it is really one of those games that really proved to the manager that maybe certain players are not really good as you think, because if you're not having Rodri in that midfield of Man City and it's dominated by Gundogan as a CDM, and we couldn't really cause havoc to that player, then that was a different kind of lesson learned by Erik ten Hag, and today he has gone ahead to go out and really confirm to us that he really learned a lot from that 6-3 loss. But I believe we lost that game of football because we are unlucky. That's it. I believe if Rafael Varane doesn't go off that field of play to come back when it's 2-0, then 3, then 4, I believe we wouldn't have really lost that game by 6. That's it. So I believe we are a more defensive team that has kept more clean sheets, I think, right now in the Premier League. We've kept by the very many clean sheets, if at all you'd ever know. And I believe we last considered a goal in the Premier League against Fulham. The 3 games we've gone ahead to play in the Premier League ever since the World Cup stopped or really ended. We played Nottingham 3-0, Burnley 3-0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-0. So those 3 games have been played and we've kept clean sheets. So I believe at Old Trafford, it's really one of those fortresses that we've really taken to the next level, and the manager also hinted about us turning that into a fortress. So after telling us about the 6-1 defeat, he has really gone ahead to throw more light on that derby and how it really went down. He said, we have to prove, Ten Hag, on what has changed since last derby. He said, we have to prove that tomorrow on the pitch, last time we didn't do well and we have to do better. It has been a process in the last months where we have developed. We have to be brave, have to believe, and have to play our game. And I believe games of football are won and lost in the midfield. That was evidenced in the last derby. Reason being, when Casemiro came on through in the midfield, things changed and we scored 3 goals. Meaning that it's going to be a different kind of game altogether, and we are having one of the best midfielders in the world that Rodri is going to face. I think he knows him very well because Rodri was in the Spanish La Liga and they used to face one another. But this time around, Casemiro is more experienced. He is really one of those players that has gone ahead to thrive well into the Premier League. He's really putting in his assists, he's scoring goals for United, and obviously being responsible for those line-breaking passes that have led to United scoring very many goals. And he breaks play a lot, and he's comfortable on the ball, meaning that he can really get that ball from the from the back 4, and obviously link the midfield to the attack. So him alongside Eriksen, it's really going to be one of those partnerships that are giving Pep Guardiola a headache, because when you are here at Manchester United, you know that for the last 5 years, the midfield has been always our weak link. But this time round, it was solved by Casemiro coming in through Mr. Fixer. So I believe lots of things are really going to be happening in their favor, and that's why Pep Guardiola is so much worried about the Manchester derby than never before he came here for the job of Man City, because he has always been getting teams that were not all that being coached by a perfect manager that knows him in and out. Because Erik ten Hag worked with Pep Guardiola in Germany, that is Bayern Munich, that saw him really become the reserve team coach. But they used to share a lot together, because Pep Guardiola used to tell him that this is what I want you to produce players, train them like this. So he knows him very well. And I believe Ten Hag is also really experienced, and Guardiola has every reason to worry, because even before he lost to Southampton in the pre-match press conference, he was even talking about the derby, that he has a ridiculous method that he's really thinking about to go on and really beat Manchester United. So it shows you that he is worried about this game of football. And why should he have to worry a lot? Because if he loses, United will close in on him, and City will be 1 point ahead of Manchester United. Then, if Arsenal goes ahead to win against Spurs in the London derby on Sunday, points will stretch to 8 points behind Arsenal. That is not something that he would love to see as we are into this month of January. So Ten Hag is really talking about us being brave and believing, and we have to play the game of football. And the other time, I think he got the tactics wrong. He has also admitted, and the players also betrayed him. But this time around, there is nothing that is really going to go ahead and really put United down from really winning this game of football. Again, Ten Hag said, I don't look, and of course, we noticed that they had a setback. I have seen the past weeks, many games of them, but we have to look at ourselves. We have to play our best game. That is what I demand tomorrow from players. Togetherness with full belief, not naive. So, he's hinting about City dropping off. Obviously, I believe there is a drop-off of City. We all know that they've really dropped off a lot. They've really gone ahead to really drop off a lot. And I believe as time flies, they are also looking nasty. With that inconsistency at the back line, midfield, Rodri still there, Kevin De Bruyne still there, Gundogan coming in through. But the issue is all about which player is going to be played on the left, who's going to be played as a left forward for Man City, because Jack Grealish, however much is putting in assists, but he doesn't really look as that player that is really a threat. I think Foden to be played that side, I think can come in through, but not as much threat as Sterling or Jesus used to offer at City. Right now, City are really struggling with other players to be on the score sheet, because it's only Haaland, only almost scoring most of the goals they have this season, meaning that they need to find other sources of goals. You isolate Haaland, like you said, the game of Southampton, then it's hard for them to go out and really get a result. And that's what they should go ahead and really work upon at City. Then Ten Hag on what has changed at Manchester United. He has told us that I think that game was a setback. It was difficult. About you had to act or deliver. You have to go through certain steps. You need a clear vision, a clear point where you want to go, a direction. Then it's about development. So Ten Hag is hinting about United developing ever since that loss of 6-3. And I believe we've put out a very huge run that has seen us go close to 8 games without being beaten at Old Trafford. Because the last time we were beaten at Old Trafford, sorry about that, was when we played against Real Sociedad. I remember that very well. But ever since then, we've not gone ahead to lose a game at Old Trafford. And the only team that has come at Old Trafford and really got a point from there has been Newcastle. The rest of the teams have really fallen on the sword of Manchester United. So I believe all the teams we played, the teams in the top 6 that came to Old Trafford in the first half of the season were beaten. Spurs was beaten, Arsenal was beaten, Liverpool was beaten. Now, Man City has come up at a very terrible time when they're really looking not all that good. They're looking rusty. So I believe we are going to go ahead and really get those points out of that. Then lastly, he talked about Casemiro and his importance to the club of Manchester United. Then this is what he said on Casemiro's impact. That is quite obvious, an impact. I said it from the beginning. This team needed a number 6 control holding midfielder. He's so important. He is the cement between the stones. So, you know, it's always good to give someone his props or his flowers, and Casemiro has to be given his props. To me, I rate him as the best player at Manchester United. He's the reason as to why we are really 3rd in the Premier League. He's the reason as to why you are seeing us playing well in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and obviously trying to see to it that we close down on the table leaders called Arsenal, because we beat Man City tomorrow, we beat Arsenal on the 22nd. That puts us in a very perfect position of really putting ourselves into the title race. And remember, we are the only Premier League team that has been left in all 4 competitions. That's it. So Ten Hag is talking about a team that needed number 6, something that we've been craving for close to 5-6 years. But a manager comes in through and really realizes it and says, all right, I want a 6. He wanted Frankie de Jong to come and play that position. Obviously, a deal really had to fall out. He went in for Rabiot, wanted a lot of money. Casemiro was there pending, and they said, let's get in Casemiro. And obviously, Casemiro has gone ahead and really gotten us to the levels that we never been before for the last years, and Casemiro is really referred to as the cement in between the stones. And you cannot build a house without cement, because cement acts as a binder between the stones, water, and the sand. Not so? Then he went ahead to say that defense knows his position, points others into position, winning balls, duels, mainly in possession. He can speed up the game. We are really happy to have him on board. Obviously, if there is a player that has really gone ahead to really write a difference in the era of Erik ten Hag, is Casemiro, and he'll always be remembered that when he came in through and really played, he went ahead to silence all the haters, those that have really called or referred to him as a player who is not really great at all, as he had been playing at Real Madrid with Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. He comes in the Premier League and proves them wrong, and that is a man known as Casemiro. So thank you guys for watching in through. Your reactions to Weghorst and Dalot out of the derby are welcome in the comment section below. Ten Hag has really gone ahead to really address this press conference. So your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. I remain Rokan David. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if you're totally watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. The Manchester Derby is on tomorrow. I'm out.